I hope it works. Okay, welcome everyone. Happy to see you here and happy that we have some news today to talk about. Um, because actually we have released a little blog post that sums up what happened over the last, yes, 9 months already in our little community treasury initiative that kind of started or got kickstarted by this surprisingly blog post of the IOTA Foundation with the Chrysalis upgrade in end of April and formed in the first weeks of May here in our Discord, where a group of community members came together and thought about, okay, now we have this choice being offered by the IOTA Foundation. What are we going to do with it? And from this point on, everything developed. We have been continuously meeting, talking, chatting, writing, creating ideas, creating proposals, creating technical solutions over the last month that have, I would say, um, like I said, if somebody has some questions, I'm always happy to, you can just hop in. But if there is someone, I think Digital Soul, your mic is a bit making a bit noise. So I'm actually gonna mute you because it makes a lot of bumming sound here. Yeah, so that's the thing. My idea would be for today, our agenda, a little welcome and introduction. And then actually I thought it would be good. We go shortly through the bullet points of the blog post that we just released. I might be able to explain some things, clarify some things, and then maybe I'll also gonna show shortly the Treasury website that we have built as an extra point of information for the voters to make it a bit easier to approach all these things. And then it's really time for your questions. So if you have questions about the blog, about the voting mechanism, about the way we went, ask them, call them if you want to propose anything or talk about anything. This is why we are here. We're here to answer your questions and to give all the informations out that we have. Maybe I will also be able to go through to show you a bit how voting in Firefly will look, because we have the designs mostly finalized of the UI UX in Firefly. And so I think this will be also a nice and interesting part for you to see actually how voting will work in Firefly. Okay, so far. So any questions until now? Nope.
Okay, there?
Yeah, I'm here. You still hear me? All good? Greg? Yeah?
Anybody else here? Oh, okay, cool. You're here. Yeah,
I'm here.
yeah. I hear you now.
I'm
I can hear. Can you
I
hear? I hear you now.
Yes, I also hear you. So maybe we have to introduce or to explain that my internet connection sometimes has a bit trouble. So if I drop out during the call, no worries. No, normally Greg can then take over and wait until I've fixed my internet connection and gonna hop back into the call. But I hope most of you had the chance to have a short look on our blog post that we released today. This is, as I said, a summary of what happened over the last month, and it gives an outlook on the planned process, what is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So as I said, we are coming from the Chrysalis upgrade, where the IOTA Foundation released a blog post, or actually 2 blog posts, that described which measures had been taken to move on with this unclaimed treasury tokens that had been hanging over the project since inception of the project in 2016 and then in 2017. So as a short explanation where these tokens are coming from, maybe interesting. The initial crowd sale, so the initial sale of the IOTA tokens was conducted in 2015, November, December, after the initial founders had announced the project. They asked in a forum to collect some initial funding to start the development of it, and they offered, like most others, they offered a supply of IOTA tokens in exchange for a couple of Bitcoin. And the people that purchased those IOTA tokens at this time had a reclaim period of 90 days after the launch of the IOTA mainnet to claim the tokens that they have purchased. And most of them did it in this 90 days. Others missed it, and they have been re-imbued since then. And but it seems that really a couple of people have completely forgotten that they did send a couple of hundred or a couple of $1,000 in Bitcoin to the founders at this time, and they have never showed up again. And all attempts to find those initial purchasers have not worked out. Yeah, so this is what the IOTA Foundation, after the founders or after the IOTA Foundation was created in 2017, they kind of a bit stewarded this process to find the original owners or the original purchasers, but they never showed up. And so with the Chrysalis upgrade, the IOTA Foundation decided that it's time now to give the community the chance to decide what should happen with those tokens. And so it's up to the community to come to a decision if these tokens should be used for something useful, or if those tokens should better be removed from the ledger and disappear and just be burned and not accessible anymore. So they released some blog posts, and I was one of the first ones in May then, and a lot of other people started to discuss here in Discord what should happen with all those tokens. And we got, I mean, this was really, you can see all the history still in Discord. We did kind of amazingly long and intense discussions, and hundreds of people participated since then in all those calls and in all those discussions. And this initiative started. We started weekly calls. We met here in the Discord to decide actually what would be the best way for us to move forward and come to a solution that will make it possible to vote on those tokens. Because this is what it needs to be done. The community or the IOTA token holders need to come to a decision what to do with all those tokens. And so the thing was that we would need to develop a voting system. And we did a lot of research. Many people have been involved here. We've figured and we researched most of the other projects out there, most of the other voting methods out there that are used in the moment in DLTs and cryptos. And we figured out that the best solution and the only feasible and secure and safe way to come to a vote over those tokens would be to use the token balance that somebody owns as, let's say, voting power or as generating vote function in this decision. And so we started to think about how to do this technically and how to implement this into the Firefly. Maybe also getting along here to the two options that are up for the vote. So this is also, these texts here are defined by the community. So this is not something that the IOTA Foundation has come up to. The option burn and build, the texts of this option and what it means has been defined in community calls over the last couple of months by a large amount of community members here in this initiative and in these channels and every second Thursday in those calls. So these are original texts created by the community that define those two options. Yeah? And so if the vote would come to burn, the node operators would have to come to a decision and implement an upgrade of the IOTA code, which will eliminate those tokens from the total supply. So they will be completely deleted out of the ledger and they will not be accessible anymore. And the second option would be to build something with this. And build in this case means that there would need to be a governance system constructed by the community that makes it possible to have a decentralized and community-driven governance and decision-making power over what should be done with those tokens. Means those tokens would need to be held in a wallet which is not controlled by a single person, but it needs to be controlled by a system of community control. Normally, those things are called DAOs, or this can also be like a Treasury committee or something like this, where actions only happen if votes have happened and then the spending of funds out of this wallet can only happen based on the outcome of these votes. Usually this stuff is done with smart contracts, and so that smart contracts automatically execute, or not automatically, but initiated by a vote, execute spendings out of this wallet. And it would be envisioned that this would be a nice thing to fund projects in the ecosystem and help to support to grow the IOTA project and to grow community projects and support builders and contributors and creators in the IOTA ecosystem. So these are the two options that are up for a vote, and it's up on the community to decide what should happen here. So this is a bit maybe an illustration that could show it. So actually the Treasury tokens, this was the old network. They have been migrated into a locked address, which is not accessible by anybody. And now if the vote goes burn, the node operators will upgrade to a version of the IOTA protocol where these tokens don't exist anymore. And if the vote goes to build, first of all, nothing will happen directly with those tokens. The tokens stay locked until the community has come up with a system and with a governance structure that allows decentralized control over those tokens, which normally would involve use of smart contracts, use of maybe multi-sig wallets. And so that's going to be an ongoing process over the next month after the vote, where the community developers would come to find the best solution how to govern those tokens. There are a lot of examples out there in the DLT community. It's not something super unusual that tokens are governed by a community. Most of the DeFi projects out there, they have a shared treasury, and most of them have a DAO or have a governance structure that controls those funds collectively, and so that only the community can decide what happens with this stuff. Questions until now? I know I tend to talk a lot and too much, so please, if somebody hasn't understand anything, just ask.
It's your show though.
No worries. But anyway, after this also we will have time to answer your questions.
All good.
All good. And also, if anybody
Yes.
sees any questions in the channels posted or something like this, have an eye on it. We can also answer this later. So that's about the community-driven DAO. And next point would be challenges of this voting mechanism. Because this was really one of the most difficult part for us to figure out which voting mechanism is really feasible for this. Because I'm sure many people of you come to the first same thoughts that everybody of us did. Kind of, okay, token holdings is some kind of, seems not super fair, because there are exchanges, there are people that hold really huge amount of IOTA tokens, and naturally with this system, they will have more votes than somebody that holds only a couple of IOTA tokens. And so we have been really done a lot of research on this field. We looked in all the other projects. We looked in identity-based solutions. We looked in all kind of smart contract stuff. And in the moment, with the technology that is available in the moment in the IOTA project, and even if we would have smart contracts, still token holdings and token-based voting is definitely the most secure and Sybil protected possibility to vote, because everything that is would aim to give one, let's say, one person one vote is absolutely in a DLT which is anonymous. So we don't know who is the IOTA community. This was one of the most important questions we've discussed in the first couple of months, to figure out how can we define the IOTA community. Who is it? Everybody that owns tokens, everybody that's part of this Discord, maybe everybody that's part of the Discord and an IOTA Telegram group, or anybody that ever liked an IOTA Twitter tweet. So how do you define who is the IOTA community? You can't. And also because everybody has hundreds of identities. You can fake identities. You can create Twitter and Discord accounts as much as you want. There is no way of doing kind of a social scoring who belongs to the IOTA community and who should be the persons that make this decision. And in the end, if you go through all this and you go through all the research and all the mathematical papers and all the things that have been created over the last couple of years regarding Sybil protection systems, you will always figure out that the only really Sybil protected thing in a DLT is normally the native token of this project. Because the native token, in our case, but in most protocols, you have a consensus and you have a absolute clear state and knowledge of which address holds how many tokens, and only the people that own those tokens with their private key are able to move those tokens and control those tokens. And so that's the only really Sybil resistant mechanism out there, which is the consensus of the protocol itself. And so we decided that's actually, for such an important decision that is absolutely game changing, maybe for the future of IOTA, we cannot rely on anything else that is not 100% secure and is able to be documents. Yeah, you would have to issue your passport and things. This is not what DLTs normally are. In DLT, it's the good thing that you are anonymous. You can own Bitcoin, you can own Ethereum, you can own KYC provider or anything. And still, this would have maybe worked for US and European people, but we are a worldwide ledger. You have people everywhere in the world. And so having a system that makes it possible that everywhere in the world people identify themselves with their government issued documents, such a KIC system is not available. It's just not existing in the moment. And so also this was kind of ruled out. It's just not possible. And in the end, read through the blogs, read through the links we shared about Sybil protection. The only thing that works is the IOTA token in the moment. This doesn't mean that this will be the same voting mechanism used in maybe in a treasury in the future. Smart contracts and IOTA identity moment, and may be ready in a couple of months or in a year or whenever they are. So that's something that is possibly flexible to implement, to have a more identity-based system that doesn't give so many weights to token holdings at the moment. But in the moment, this year, 2022, this is the best and the only really secure solution for such a vote. We have made some decisions how we define.
Hey, Holger.
Yeah.
Holger.
Yes. Greg.
Holger, are we streaming this? Because I'm having some people. Yeah, some people are saying they can't hear. I was wondering, are we streaming this? Maybe the channel's full.
They can't. Is it full? Let me see.
There shouldn't be any limits on this channel.
No, I think this is a limitless.
Yeah, I just want to check. I don't know.
let
Yeah,
me.
there are 90 before. Nah.
So actually, if somebody has
People just are leaving and joining still.
yeah. So if somebody has can post the YouTube link, because it should be live streamed in the Treasury YouTube, but I can't switch over there, so I don't have the link in the moment. So you can also watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure it was streaming. So
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
People are
Cool.
By the way, people are still coming in, so the
Yes.
channel can't be full.
No, that's the thing.
Oh, okay.
Our account
All right.
is increasing.
Okay, what else?
All right, thank you.
So what have we done? We have formed a core team of developers, which is actually the team of around Sooniverse and Soonlabs, which also create a cool DAO platform for the IOTA community. And in close work together with the IOTA Foundation, with the Firefly, and with the Hornet team, we developed a voting system. We had a lot of community contributors. We developed a great specification for all this. The links are all in the blog, and the links are all in the GitHub repository, where you can really find out in detail how voting works on the Tangle using the Firefly wallet and using the Hornet nodes to count. We also create the website, which will be kind of a port of information for the voters over the next couple of weeks. We're always going to post updates there, going to have tutorials, FAQ, how to vote, how everything will be explained in a hopefully very easy way, so that anyone out there that isn't following the project so close can get all the information they need to figure out what this vote is all about and how this works. What will happen is that once everything is ready and the timeline for the vote is defined, we will release an updated Firefly version, which implements the voting functionality and the governance functionality into the Firefly wallet. This will be, first of all, tailored for the first vote, but in the future, Firefly, this is a functionality that will stay. So Firefly will, from this time on, be possible to be used for token-based voting in the IOTA ledger, and also later on with Shimmer and assembly tokens and stuff like this. So this is a useful development that anyway was needed, because we're going to have a lot of governance decisions coming up in the new IOTA ecosystem with all the new tokens, all the new networks. So Firefly is going to implement this functionality, and so it's great that we had the chance to develop this together with the community to work out a really great system. The Hornet team developed a node plugin, and this is actually the same plugin that is used already in staking. It's called Participation plugin, and it can track events that happen in the ledger. Yeah. So one of these events in the moment is the staking for assembly and for Shimmer. The next event that's going to be implemented is going to be the first vote. And also later on, this plugin can be used by the community to track all kind of events. So there could be other stakings, there could be other votes, and the combination of Firefly Wallet and Hornet Participation plugin will be able to track and to make this voting and counting possible. We have a GitHub repository where all the information and all the specifications, all the meeting notes, all the recordings, everything is published there. Also, you can read it up. We have distinguished that this vote will undergo several phases and periods, and I would like to explain them a bit. So first of all, the proposal will get announced. This is actually, once everything is defined and finished, we will officially announce the start date for the vote, and the so-called event file. This is a file that the node operators need to implement in the plugin. Will be released in a GitHub repository where all the community nodes that want to participate in voting can grab this file and activate it in their participation plugin in their nodes. So the counting of all those votes is not something that is only be done by the IOTA Foundation. Everybody that runs a Hornet node can participate in counting and can verify that the results produced by the nodes connected to Firefly and the website are correct. So this is fully community driven and community verifiable that the vote is undergoing correct conditions. After the node operators have implemented this and everything's ready, the vote will start to be open. We call it just voting open. We changed it actually for those that have followed us in before. So there is a technical naming for this, but to make it more user-friendly, we changed those names for the so-called, before we called it commencing period, we just call it now in Firefly, we call it voting is open. So you will see in your Firefly wallet that you are able to vote, and you will have 7 days time to initiate your vote and to make your decision and cast your vote. So
it's basically the equivalent to the pre-staking period we have seen.
Actually the same, yeah. So the cool thing is voting and staking work very, 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 very. And so it's similar to like the stuff that you have seen in staking. We also had, like Werner said, we had the pre-staking and then the staking started. And here we have kind of the voting open period where you can already initiate your vote. And then you're going to have to wait 7 days until the counting period starts. And the counting period will be 10 days. And during this counting period, your tokens will produce votes. Same like now with staking. So you used an amount of IOTA tokens in staking, and every 10 seconds you see fresh assembly and shimmer tokens flowing into your wallet. And the same thing is happening with votes. Every 10 seconds you will produce new votes with the amount of tokens that you use in the vote. And so if you start the vote and you make your decision in the first 7 days and you stay in the vote the whole 10 days, you will generate the maximum amount of votes that are possible to create with your tokens holdings. You will always be free to change your vote. You will always be free to vote later, to stop voting, or to vote for another opinion, to include more tokens in your vote if you get fresh votes, fresh tokens in the wallet. So it's the same like with staking. Yeah, you can unstake, you can restake, you can merge fresh tokens into the stake. The actual same functionality works in voting the same way. Here we describe some more of the details. Read it. It's about a bit more technical specification. And so this is actually the vote is counted on the UTXOs, on an address and all the things. So if you want to dive deep into the technicals, go into the GitHub and read up the specification. It's very, very well defined in our GitHub repository. The results of the vote will, like I said, they will be possible to be produced by all Hornet nodes that participate. We will have live voting results, global counting of as soon as the voting starts. Hornet nodes can publish their current counting. And so Firefly will show you how the counting is ongoing in the moment, and also the website will show this. We have some little explanations here of how this actually works. So these are actually the milestones. Every 10 seconds, a milestone happens, issued by the coordinator. And so we defined that 1,000 IOTAs represent one vote. And so if you have 1 million or 1 me, you can generate 1,000 votes with every milestone. And so actually every milestone that happened in the Tangle, freshly 1,000 votes will be counted to your count. And the next milestone, the next 1,000, yeah? And so over and over and over and over and over every milestone that you keep voting, you will generate fresh votes and they will be accumulated to your already existing account counting. There are some examples, some edge cases. So similar like staking, you can stop, you can change your opinion. So you can start voting for build, and then you can change your vote and continue voting for burn. The only thing is important is that you cannot change the past. So whatever happened and has been counted will stay counted. So even if you change your opinion mid of this 10 days, the votes that have been already happened are counted in the ledger, they are registered in the notes, and you can't change them, but you can always change the future. And so you're free to change your opinion and to um, uh, remove your votes and to add more tokens. Also, this is illustrated here. Um, what else? Yeah, it, of course, as always in IOTA, it doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, so there's no transaction costs involved or anything. Just vote and unvote and change, everything free, everything feeless. It is as secure as staking and any other transaction. And like I said, you're super flexible. The cool thing is also that staking and voting don't influence each other. So you don't have to be scared that if you vote, your stake will change or something like this. These are completely independent systems. And if you start voting, you don't have to care about your staking. Your staking will just continue. And also, if you have already voted and you want to do something on your staking or change something, you can do this. This is completely independent from each other, and you don't have any influence between these two systems. And so the status is Hornet is ready, actually, and the participation plugin is working already in staking, of course, and has also been tested in the community net already with voting functionality. This has all happened in December already, and so we've done a lot of nice, interesting votes for fun in the Comnet, and they all have produced nice results, and we know that the participation, so the counting in Hornet works. We have created this website where you will find a tutorial and some information about what happened and about tokens and stuff. This is iotatreasury.org. You can visit and will find things. It's not up to date in the last, so it's like it's up to date to the state of 2 days ago. But I will move on to this later and show you a little bit around. And the Firefly developments have been done by the Firefly team, and they are currently in, let's say, finalizing the logic in Firefly. Like I said, we have finalized the UI, so the user interface, yesterday, or actually this day in the morning. And the rest that is just to do now is finalizing the backend in Firefly. And once this is final, we will move this release out into the Firefly closed testing group, which is always doing an amazing job. This is a group of community members. I think we are like 80 or 90 members involved in this group that always get the first releases of new Firefly technology and is battle testing this stuff really until all edge cases are tried out and all little bugs are fixed. And once the Firefly closed testing group has found that the voting works really, really nice, then everything is ready and we will be able to give a final date for the day when the vote will start. And from this time on, Firefly will be released. You can have the new version updated and you can vote until the vote will be open so you can participate. What do you need to do? Actually, once the schedule is set and the new Firefly version will gets released, you need to update your Firefly wallet to the latest version. Of course, there will be blog posts and Twitter tweets and everything. It will be announced. And also Firefly will notify you when there is a new version available. You will, of course, need to have your tokens in Firefly wallet or on the ledger. So tokens sitting on exchanges won't be useful for you. Same with staking, only works in Firefly. So withdraw whatever you have still on an exchange if you want to participate in the vote. You can, of course, also use Ledger to vote. Yeah, so same as with staking, everything works similar. a normal Firefly profile or a Ledger Firefly profile will be able to participate. And then you just have to wait until we have the green light from the development side and we can announce when everything is ready. The node operators, of course, also will have to activate this event in their participation plugin. They will be notified from the Hornet team, and we will also then give instructions where to find the event file to be uploaded and implemented in the participation plugin. This will be coming from GitHub then, and people can track the vote if they would like to participate. And like I said, we will communicate everything. And then as soon as voting gets opened, just cast your vote, sit back and see how the voting develops over the next couple of days and weeks. And once everything is finished, the final result will be visible in your Firefly wallet. The final result will be visible on the community website. The final result will be, of course, announced in the blog post by the IOTA Foundation. And also, node operators have an easy way to verify that the count is correct. So we will make it possible for them to post the results of their counting of their nodes in GitHub, and so they will produce a checksum. And so actually, every node that participated should, in the end, produce the same checksum, because the result from every node that participated should be the same. And so it will be easy to verify that all the, I don't know, 400 or 500 nodes participating will produce the same result. Okay, so this was my little run through the block, and I think it would be time now. If anybody has some questions, please ask them now. Otherwise, I will show you a bit around with the Treasury website and maybe show you something from how Firefly will look in the UI. But if anybody wants to speak up and have some question, please come forward.
Yeah, well, maybe you need a break. That was a long talk.
I'm used to long talking now already. Yes.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Yeah, no, it makes sense to me. But anybody in the community have any questions?
Just a clarification, voting doesn't interfere with staking, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
It's absolutely independent of each other, and you can vote and stake and do both or nothing, and it won't, the one is never going to change and influence the other one.
Anybody else want to help out Philo and give him a little break?
Let me go. I'll move shortly over to the Treasury website, and then I move into I go to Firefly, and then maybe have a short go through the website also. So let me change my screen. And so this is, yeah.
Sorry, Holger. I noticed before just jumping in that there was a limitation on the stream. I'm not sure if you guys managed to fix that, or is there? Yeah, I popped a screenshot in the general chat, but I could just now join, so I'm not sure if there's a problem for
But actually, there is so here from my settings, maybe you see it. There's no limit implemented. Pretty strange. Maybe Antonio.
There are limits for this. There
might be a server limit
for the stream, and there is a limit for the channel.
Yeah.
Those are distinct.
Strange. So we have the bitrate, and there is a permissions channel. So maybe somebody can just restream it in one of the other channels. Because like I said, from my side, there shouldn't be, the user limit is.
I've only been able to listen to it.
Okay. Yeah, or like I said, in YouTube, it's also should be streamed in YouTube. And anyway, it's gonna be recorded, so you can watch it later on.
Go into YouTube.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me change my screen to the Firefly.
Let me see if I can restream it, see if that works.
Ah, yeah, should be. You can maybe restream
So
it to.
hold on here.
We have casual voice. Should be able to restream it there. So what I'm showing
Can I restream it on the same channel?
Just do it from you. You could do it from your own guy, right from here. We can just chain watch it if it's possible. Basically, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what.
yeah,
exactly.
that's cool.
See if
Yeah.
this works.
That someone already did? Okay,
Put it
so
for now,
someone's
I
already
just-
done it, so.
Yeah, so
Perfect.
we're creating a stream chain. So guys, this is does anybody see?
Just for those who didn't get the first part, I was just going to say
Yeah.
the first part. This is being recorded, so like if you didn't see the first part, you'll be able to catch up.
Yeah.
So
These are still not really, not like I said, these are final pre-designs. There might be some small changes coming, but this is basically how voting in Firefly will gonna look. One interesting thing for everybody that's also Firefly will have a little change. It will, maybe you see here that there's some things in the sidebar have changed, and you have now your user profile and the things on the top of Firefly. And here you have a selector for your wallet, because Firefly will in with the next release, or don't know, in one of the next releases, change to that everything is based is wallet based. So you have a wallet, and all the sidebar functionalities and overlays and dashboards are always based per wallet. And so you will have a selector here where you can choose between your different wallets. And also if you vote or stake or something, you will always have to do it then single per wallet. So if you have 3 or 4 wallets, you will need to vote with every wallet separately. This is just for, it makes more sense to have this change in Firefly from the user perspective. So, and we have a new, we call it a governance tab. So this will be this little symbol here, which will open, which will show you your voting power, which is just your wallet balance. We'll have a little information. It will link you to the website where all the specification and the tutorial how to vote will be hosted. And you will see the first Treasury vote. This is a bit for the first vote. We made this a little bit special because it's like the first time, and it's this initial burn and build vote. So we'll have this nice overlay, but this will be moved away later on. And later on, you will just have several proposals from the community or from whoever implemented here visible. So you're going to check on view proposal and actually be able, yeah, this is the other screen. This would be then if there are several more proposals, you would have it in such an overlay. And once the proposal is not yet ready to vote, you will just be here in the announcement phase. And you will see, okay, we're in announcement. You will see when will voting open, when will the counting start, and when will the counting be finished. You will see how long this time frames will still be, and here you would be able to read up details of the thing. And if voting is already possible, you will be able to choose your opinion here. Yeah, you choose build or burn. You click on the button, and you would then get an overlay where you have to decide, okay, you want to cast your votes. You will have to confirm. And after the confirmation, you will always have to enter your stronghold password, or you will have to do the confirmation with your ledger, because the vote is always a transaction. Same as with staking, you are sending your tokens to yourself, and you are writing in the metadata of the transaction that you are voting with 1,500 IOTA for option build. And this will be written into your address, and this is what the nodes are able to track and to count in the ledger. Yeah, and then you get a notification that your votes are submitted. And once you have voted, you will see that this is the option that you have selected, and the counting of the vote will start on this time. So you're not yet counting, but you're in this pre-voting phase where you can already cast your vote and you will just need to wait until the counting starts. You will also, of course, be able to stop your vote. Yeah, so this is going to be as soon as you click here, you can stop your vote and stuff like that. Once counting is already happening, you will see the overall global count of the vote. So this is something you will see how many votes and percentages have been casted already at this time. And if you have not yet voted, you will see you have no votes counted until now, 0 votes. And the counting still lasts for 6 days from here on. You can initiate again by clicking on the option. You confirm everything, and then you see that you are actively voting and that you have already generated 2,000 votes with your 260. So these are just made up numbers. Yeah? So, and again, when you stop voting now, you will get a little bit of a notification that even if you stop now, the votes that have been already counted by the nodes, they will stay valid and they will stay in the count. Yeah. And another case that we would have is change your vote. So you are actively voting already for build, and you want to change your vote to burn. Easy, you click on here, you get this overlay where you can change the vote, you will confirm it, and you will see that you are voting now for the other option. Also, you will see that you have, so the blue one are the votes that you have been counted for burn, and the greenish ones, mint ones, are the votes that have been counted for build. So if you have 2 different votes casted for different opinions, the wallet will also show you that you have made votes for different options. And maybe one of the cases that you know from staking. So once you receive fresh tokens in a wallet, maybe you buy some more on an exchange and send it to a wallet, Firefly will notify you that you have unvoted funds, and it will ask you to manage your vote and to actually, same like staking, you will be able to merge those funds into an active vote already, and they will count from the time on when you have voted. In the end, if everything's finished and the counting is ended, you will see actually the global count. You will see your count, how many votes you have casted, and you will see what is the overall result from all people that have voted together, and Firefly will indicate who is the winner of this vote. This is, these are the dark mode, but it's not yet finished. So this is actually what I wanted to show you a bit. It's a little bit walkthrough what is envisioned to be a nice user-friendly UI. Or like I said, it's kind of really, if you are staking already, you are very familiar with the process. It's pretty much the same, just you don't get assembly and shimmer tokens, you get votes from your IOTA tokens. So that's in principle the same thing than staking. And also the counting happens the same way with staking. So it's really great that we can use this functionality for different things. What else? One more thing I'm going to show you shortly is the website. So this is a public-facing website that the community did build to give the information about the vote out into the world, because not everybody is here in the IOTA Discord, not everybody is following the project closely, and we thought, okay, it's a good idea to have something easy approachable where we can have some easy explainers and we can lay out all the details of this vote. So this is also built by the team of Soonlabs, and the design is completely made by community designers. Mainly Jan has done a great job in designing this website, do the layout and all the things. And so this is again going through the process. You're gonna get an explanation how what build and burn works. It's giving a little bit of a timeline of what happened until we arrived here. So 2015, the events in 2017. We waited for all the reclaimers to show up. And then we had Chrysalis, the network upgrade, where we had the two options. And then we started in May 2021 with the Treasury initiative here in the IOTA community, where all people started together and made collective decisions on how this vote should work. And now we are here in the phase that we are ready to do a community vote. We have a little more detailed explanation of how voting work on the website. Yep. Where we explain what are the three phases of the vote. So we explain the announcement phase, what voting open means, the 7-day, and what happens in the counting period for 10 days. We will explain how you can achieve your maximum voting count regarding to the amount of tokens that you own. So here is laid out how the building of voting weight over time works. We have two different options. So this is not yet live on the website, but you will be able to directly initiate a vote from the website. So the website will host a little functionality where you directly can click build or burn on the website, and it will open your Firefly wallet, and you can then just finish your voting in Firefly. But this is something that will also make it easy to directly start voting from the website, and Firefly will directly open in the governance tab in the defined position where you can just select your wallet and confirm your vote. Also, the technical details of how counting in the node works is laid out here, and how the time-based counting of vote works. Yeah, also the similar graphic than in the blog post. Different examples of how voters, what would happen if you start later, what would happen if you change your opinion during the vote, and all the things. So these are some edge cases that can happen, and we try to explain this here. Also, we lay out the community defined voting rules. So also these are rules. This is not made up by the IOTA Foundation. This has been all discussed here in the meetings and has been mostly voted on by polls or by lazy consensus in the meetings between all the people that have successfully migrated into the Chrysalis network when the holding period ends. Yeah, the counting period ends. So at the end of the count, we have to see how many tokens are existing in the Chrysalis network, and this will be 100% of the tokens. A minimum total participation is not required to create a legitimate and binding vote outcome. So only if 3 people in the world vote in this vote, the decision that these 3 people take will need to be used as the valid outcome. So our hope would be that not only 3 people vote, maybe a similar amount of people that stake. If you're already staking, just click a few buttons and take a decision. The more people participate in this vote, the more democratic and the more fair and realistic the outcome of this vote is. So really a broad and wide community participation would be pretty amazing. The winner is pretty simple. It's a simple majority vote. So 50% plus 1 of the valid counted votes will decide who is the winner of the 2 options. And also, if there should be an event that is seen as an error or a bug in the code, and it is provable that there was something wrong in the implementation, then we will just repeat the vote after the bug has fixed. This whole stuff is security audited, so Firefly and Hornet have received external audits on the functionality. It is community tested, and staking and everything works, so there is not something that we expect to bug. There's going to be a little tutorial section on the website. that will go through the different cases. So when are you starting to vote? In the first period, the second period, or if you want to add some tokens, this is going to use, and it's going to be a step-by-step walkthrough with the overlays from Firefly, what you have to do, where you have to click, what comes next. Yeah, so this is a bit of the real detailed information for everybody that is not so technically fit, and you can just follow this tutorial and it will walk you through all the edge cases. And of course, questions always in the help channel in the IOTA Discord. Alrighty, I think I have really talked a lot now. So I would really open this up now for community questions.
I'm just gonna. Gabby is asking a question in general chat, and I kind of think it pertains. It's important to bring up. She's basically saying, "Hey, this is all in English. What about people who speak different languages, like Spanish?" She goes, "I think there's some nuances that are lost." And so we might want to answer that. I don't know that we can cater to every language, right? But any help interpreting or
super,
this, I think, is encouraged, right?
Yeah, of course, Firefly, all the Firefly things will be translated. So also Firefly will host, we will have tooltips and pop-ups in Firefly that will explain also in detail all the voting steps. And all these tooltips will be, of course, translated from our amazing group of community translators that translate all the Firefly functionalities in all different languages. But of course, if I know, Gabi, you're super engaged, especially with the Spanish community. If you would love to deliver a translation of the website or of the blog, absolutely appreciate it. I'm sure we can make it possible to have, let's say, like a Spanish version of the website and the blog published. So super, super welcome. There's still a couple of weeks time. So if you want to contribute, Gabi, absolutely great. Get in touch with me and we will implement.
Yeah, and there might be some nuances that need to be explained. Yeah, so
yeah,
right. So
this would be great if we can get some people in. Yeah, so this would then this would really be working on the website. Yeah, this is something I'm sure we can kind of implement. Yeah. More. Come forward. State your opinion, ask your questions. If something is unclear, we are really here to help you understand the things, and also to, if you have some concerns or something, just really speak up. This is a community thing, and we would be really happy to get input on this. Yeah, I mean, we do this since 9 months, and posting all these regularly updates and do all these regular meetings. So I think most people have heard about this before, but there's always open questions. So please really just feel free to ask it here or to post it in the chat.
cool.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was easy.
That was easy.
Sounds like a lot.
A lot of
yeah. You just went through that. We have so many viewers, but nobody's.
You're pretty thorough.
Yeah, but yeah. Any questions, you guys?
I can ask dumb ones like when moon and can the devs do something?
No P questions here.
Yeah.
P?
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I mean, one thing maybe I have to add, you know, we don't give ETAs in the IOTA Foundation anymore, but this is not something that is far away. Yeah, so voting is planned soon, and soon means like not in summer. So this is something that will be in the next couple of weeks or months. We will be ready with this, and so this is something. Also, if you have, let's say, if you want to get more involved and engaged, please really engage yourself here in the Discord, in the governance channel. if you are already thinking about, let's say, what comes next. Yeah? So if a certain outcome of the vote would be, and then maybe there would be some more stuff to do, and you have some creative ideas for this regarding DAOs, regarding Treasury committee, really get involved.
Whatever.
Governance, because kind of if the community votes for build, the real interesting part will start, because then the community will really need to come together and do a couple of important decisions on how these tokens should be governed, which system to build, smart contracts, which voting system, which governance structure, stuff like this. Who could be funded from these tokens? What requirements projects would need to bring to get funding from that? So that's a great and important opportunity coming up, but it needs community engagement. So this is not something that the IOTA Foundation will carry on to do for you. So of course we are always there to help and to support. And if nobody else is doing stuff, we will potentially build technology around this. But this should be a community initiative, and the more people engage in these channels and in these discussions, the better the system in the end will be, and the better the things that can come out of this initiative will be for all IOTA token holders and the whole project. So
yeah. I just to kind of add, right, if it is to build, right, it then becomes incumbent upon the community to start running the show, right? So the idea, right, is we're making a community fund that can be managed wholly by the community. So all the processes, procedures, how do you run the business, how do you govern, what's the ethos, and even the whole systems, choosing the systems to run this decision support system to all aspects of government are all upon the community. So it will go as fast or as slow as the community can act and collectively come to decisions on everything about this. So just heads up, it's not going to be, it's a little like sausage making. It won't be immediate, like, right, it's going to probably we spent quite a bit of time getting to this point, and people should assume that coming to consensus among all of us from disparate places around the world is going to take some time. So I'm just trying to level set people, right? So
I mean, you really have to see, it took us 9 months to arrive to this place, and I wouldn't nobody, and I thought we will take let's take 3, 4, maybe we can vote in 6 months. This was my thing when we started in May. I thought, okay, let's talk and discuss, and maybe in 6 months we can have a vote. Now it's 9 months and we are still not having the vote, kind of soon. So really everything that is broadly discussed in a community and in a group of community members takes time. But I'm happy that we arrived here where we are now close to a first decision, which will enable or not enable huge opportunities. And then really we need the community needs to step up and take this challenge and take this opportunity in their hands to do something useful with those tokens.
Since I saw the question in chat, what happens when a node goes down? It's the exact thing that also happens with staking. If a node, let's say, it loses network connection, then when the node syncs back up, then all the milestones are replayed, and therefore the voting stats are correct once the node is back in sync.
Yeah, that's the cool thing in Ledger. The same with transactions. If one node goes offline and something, the node will fetch the history of what happened in the time where he was offline from his neighbors, and will fill up his database with the required and missing information. So the cool thing in IOTA, we have a couple of hundreds. I don't know. I mean, I think we have over 500 auto peering nodes, and maybe a similar amount of nodes that are not auto-peering. So there's a lot of nodes out there. They are not all going to participate in the counting. It's not something that the nodes must do. It's a free thing for node operators. But I'm sure like most of the community-driven node operators will use this opportunity and activate the plugin and help validating the process. I will do it with mine. Yeah. And it's the cool.
I'll also do it. So
the cool thing is also it's easy. It's really easy made in Hornet. You actually don't need to do it in the code. You can do it in the dashboard. Oh, Werner.
Yeah.
So that's
it's been added to the dashboard, and you can either you copy paste the file content or you copy paste a link to GitHub.
Yeah.
And then the node would automatically download the file.
And so that's cool because I know there's a lot of node operators like me. I mean, I get along with the Linux side of it, but I also prefer doing things in my dashboard and mostly doing not much on the node. But for those of you that just run a node, maybe use Swarm or Nuriel's playbook, you will just be able to add this event from your dashboard in your browser. You don't need to go into the deep configuration of a node to participate in this counting. And so that's something cool. And I think a nice thing for everyone that runs a node to help validating this important decision for everyone.
Yeah, I really liked it when they added it because via Linux it's a little bit more complicated. Also, if you have, because I think you had to generate some access tokens before.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
No, it's really cool. The Hornet team has done an amazing job in doing this. I mean, we see it in staking, how really nice staking works. I mean, Firefly had some here and for some people some issues there, but also this is gonna be bugged out over the next couple of weeks. Every Firefly release is more stable, so pretty solid and nice working technology here.
Yeah.
Anybody else speak
so
or?
It's recorded.
Yeah.
So since someone asked, so
yeah,
I don't think recording will be provided once the event is over.
Yes, I will.
It'll take a while for that to come together.
Yeah, I'm recording. And I'm actually streaming it to our YouTube channel, to the DAO Pioneer YouTube, and it's gonna be in the playlist there. I just don't wanna open it now because sometimes it messes up my recording here. So I'll post the link to the video in Discord in a couple of minutes after the call has finished. I'll also post it in Twitter and wherever we are. So just also spread the word. So this is also something that I think is important for those of you that are here now. Even if the IOTA Foundation now released this blog post, and it will also release, of course, another blog post that explains how the voting in detail worked, and then another blog post that says when it's starting. We need to reach out to all the corners where people hold IOTA tokens and are able to vote to get this broad participation. The really cool thing is, I think that we have seen with staking that we have really a lot of people that are holding their tokens in their Firefly wallet now for staking already. And so naturally, I think we're gonna get a quite big participation in this because it doesn't cost you anything. If you're already staking, it doesn't change anything on your staking. People anyway are looking in their Firefly wallet all the time, not always, but maybe every several days to see how many rewards they have earned. So they will see, oh, cool, there's an update. Oh, there's a new functionality. What's that? Oh, voting. Okay, cool. Doesn't cost me anything. Sounds interesting. So I'm just gonna vote. And so I hope we get a really huge and big participation. Not as much as staking for sure, but still kind of a big amount of IOTA token holders will participate here. And so then it's going to be
we can't over communicate this, right? And we need to get this out. Like even today while you're having this, right, there are people that are showing up that have never in general that are posting, that
I've never heard of
asking
this
stuff never heard of this, right? So, and I do. Gabby has another question, which I think is good for everybody. Maybe you can answer it. If you have 5 wallets running on Firefly, you will vote up to 5 times, counting as one vote separated. So, I think she's trying to figure out.
Yes.
You know,
if you have if you have 5 wallets, you will have to do the voting process with every wallet separately, and then you can even vote with different wallets for different opinions. Yeah. So if you have a Firefly profile, and then in this profile you have 5 wallets, you can vote with 2 wallets for option A and with 3 wallets for option B. But you always have to initiate the process per wallet. So maybe I know a lot of people, they maybe hold tokens for family members or for friends or whatever in one profile. So that's no problem. If your wife wants to vote for something different, just do a separate wallet for her, and she can vote for this and you can vote for the other option.
And you're still limited by the total number of IOTA anyway, so you split it 5 different ways. It's not like you're getting a bonus anyway. That's what I'm understanding, right?
Yeah. Yes. It doesn't help to split your tokens or anything. The total, you cannot vote with more tokens than you control under your seat. But of course, you can also make it fine granularity. So if you're not sure, if you maybe want to sell some of your tokens in the next 2-3 weeks during the vote, you can separate them in the beginning. Yeah, you can make a separate wallet and hold a part of tokens in a wallet that don't vote, and in another wallet you have the tokens that vote. Yeah, so you're really free to do this, but you can never cast more votes than you have under a profile. Okay, go on. Now the questions keep coming. Like I said, you can really post it in the governance channel or something. If you don't want to speak up here in the chat, no worries. Just post it in the channel and we'll try to answer whatever is there. But also later on, we have the governance channel in the Discord here. So if you have anything that comes up to your mind after reading the blog post 2 or 3 times, really please enter the governance channel and ask your questions there. There will always be somebody around to give you a more in-detailed response to your questions and to whatever you want to know. Well, what can I
sounds? Anybody else going once? Anybody got any more questions?
Oh, okay, I can throw in one.
Okay, cool.
So you have a wallet, you cast your vote. What happens if you transfer half of that amount of that wallet to another wallet? Would voting just stop from that point?
Yes, you will. So if you have voted already with this wallet, and then you are in the normal transaction overview, and you would start a transaction. This is the same with staking. So you would get a warning that you will potentially have to initiate the vote again. And this is this is depending on technically it's depending on the UTXOs of your address. So if a part of these tokens can be sent away from a single UTXO, then you don't even need to re-vote. The same with staking. If you send some tokens away from staking, sometimes staking stays active, but sometimes you have to initiate it again. But you will always get a warning that you are attending to do an action that could influence your voting and staking, and then if you have sent part of this away, you will have to vote with the rest of the tokens of this wallet again.
Perfect. Makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Yep. Good. Something more? Something else? Otherwise.
Going once. Going twice. I think 3 times is the charm, huh?
That's the time. I think we're also now 1 hour 20 minutes. Lovely that all of you use this chance to listen to what we've been doing here. And that's like not only Greg and me, like I said, it's a huge amount. Werner was in it all the time. We have so many people that have contributed, and it's like really I also want to say thank you from my side for everybody that has gone this way with us in the last 9 months. It has been really a journey. It has been a bummer. It has been, for me personally, the thing that led me into the IOTA Foundation and all this stuff. So it's kind of pretty great, and I'm really looking forward of getting this baby here to the ground and have Firefly live and have all of you out there vote for whatever the outcome of this is. Actually doesn't matter. Finally, it just matters what the IOTA community wants, and it's up to you to decide, and it's up to you to tell your friends, to tell anybody out there in IOTA, in Twitter, in Facebook, in Instagram, in Telegram, in Discord, in all the different channels where you are. Tell the people that a vote is coming.
Grams.
All the grams that are out there. Yeah. Tell your friends, tell everybody that you know that holds IOTA tokens. There is something upcoming. You have to watch your Firefly wallet, update and participate in the voting, because the more people decide on this, the better it will be the outcome later, and the better it will be also the mandate for those that follow up this vote with further actions to proceed in creating maybe a very cool and smooth governance system for IOTA, and maybe create a chance to really get some funding into the ecosystem and support projects that really deserve support. Like I said, thanks a lot. I will post the link to the recording in a couple of minutes here, and it was, as always, a pleasure to have you here. One thing. I would like to increase the thing. So actually, we had these meetings now every 2 weeks. From now on, I will be here every Thursday, and I'm sure also Greg and all the others. So because now we're getting close to the vote, and we want to use this chance to keep the frequency, be available once a week for questions from the community, inform you about the latest changes and the latest news regarding voting. So actually the next meeting will be next Thursday, same time, 3 p.m. Berlin time, 2 p.m. UTC. We will be here for all your questions regarding governance and voting. Okay? So thanks a lot, everyone, and
all right, man. Great
see
job always,
you
Philo.
next
Thank
Thursday.
You very much for all the work, man.
Thanks, Greg, for
Thank
your
you so
support.
much.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
anyone.